Okay, poker. Cards. People play cards? Who here has never touched a deck of cards? Anyone? Okay, so you've all at least seen a deck. I actually meant to bring a deck with me today, but I left it at home. All right, there's 52 cards in the deck. Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King in each of 4 suits, spades, hearts, diamonds, and clubs. We are going to talk about being dealt 5 cards for the sake of argument and look at all the different kinds of poker hands you can get and count how many ways you can get them. Okay, so one of the important rules in this class, if not in life, is that if you have a hand that can sort of be counted in 2 different ways, it counts as the higher one. So, for instance, if I have a hand that is, say, the ace of spades, ace of hearts, ace of diamonds, and the ace of clubs, and the 2 of clubs, okay, there's a particular hand of cards. Okay, it could count as an ace, but it doesn't, because it could also count as a pair of aces, which would beat it. But it doesn't count as a pair of aces because it could count as 3 aces, which would beat that. It doesn't count as 3 of a kind because it also counts as 4 aces, which would beat any of those. Okay, so it counts as the highest thing it can possibly count as. So this is 4 of a kind. All right? Now, where people get bogged down in this is not over this kind of hand, but is over something like the difference between a flush and a royal flush. All right, so do people know what a flush is? It's 5 cards of the same suit. So an example of a flush is, say, ace of spades, 2 of spades, 5 of spades, 7 of spades, 8 of spades. Okay, there's 5 cards, they're all spades. That's a flush. Okay? Now, the following, ace of spades, 2 of spades, 3 of spades, 4 of spades, 5 of spades. That's also a flush, but the 5 cards are all in a row. This is a straight flush. A straight flush beats a flush. So this is not a flush. It's a better hand than a flush. It's a straight flush. Okay? So when you're counting flushes, you need to subtract the straight flushes, right? Don't count the straight flushes. They're a different hand. Okay? All right, so what are the basic kinds of things you can have? You can have nothing, right? In which case your hand is just whatever the highest card in the hand is. So an example of like a king-high hand would be you have the king of spades, the 2 of diamonds, the 4 of clubs, the 5 of clubs, and let's make it the 10 of hearts. You don't have to have one of everything. Let's make it the 10 of spades, because you don't have to have one of anything. Okay, so here you have 5 cards. They're not all the same suit, so there's no flush. They're not all in a row, so they're not a straight. You have no pair of anything, so you don't have 2 of a kind, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, or something else. All you got is a king. This is an example of a king-high hand. Okay, this is king-high. Okay? Now, what's the next kind of thing you could have? Well, you could have a pair of something. So you might have king of spades, king of diamonds, 2 of diamonds, 4 of clubs, 5 of clubs. Okay, that's one pair of kings. All right? They're not all the same suit. They can't be because you have a pair of something, right? There aren't 2 kings of spades. There's only one. They're not all in a row. They can't be because you've got a pair of something, so they're not a straight. They're not a straight. They're not a flush. You've got 2 of a kind, but no more than 2 of a kind, right? If the third one of these were king, you'd have 3 of a kind instead of 2 of a kind. That would beat it. It's a different hand. Okay? So that's a pair. I should have just left that up, but I didn't. Okay, what else can we have? We could have king of spades, king of diamonds, king of hearts, 2 of clubs, 4 of diamonds. Okay, that's 3 of a kind. 3 of a kind. I could have 4 of a kind. I could have a full house. Whoops. Okay, a full house is 3 of one kind and 2 of another kind. Okay. Sorry?
Sorry, that beats.
No, it doesn't beat 4 of a kind. These are not in any order yet. We'll figure out what order they ought to be in. We're actually going to figure it out. Okay. So that's a full house. Okay. What ought to be the rule for what beats what?
Whatever is easier to get.
Yeah, whatever is easier to get ought to lose, right? Whatever's harder to get ought to win. Whatever there's fewer ways of getting should be the higher hand. Okay? So that's what we're going to figure out why the hands are in the order that they're in. Okay. We could get 2 pair. So that would be king of spades, king of hearts, 2 of clubs, 2 of spades, 5 of spades. So that's 2 pair. Okay, notice a full house is not 2 pair, right? Because it's 2 pair and then some. Right? It's going to be harder to get. All right, what else do we have? We've got a flush. One, two, three, four, five. So that's a flush. They're all the same suit. We've got ace of spades, 2 of spades, 3 of hearts, 4 of hearts, 5 of diamonds. That's a straight. So a straight is 5 cards in order, right, that they're consecutive. Now, in some games, aces are low. In some games, aces are high. So you could have a straight that looked like 10, jack, queen, king, ace, depending on the rules. But what you can't have is a straight that wraps around. You can't have something like jack, queen, king, ace, 2. That's not a straight. Okay? This doesn't work. You can have a straight flush. Okay, that's all 5 cards in a row, all the same suit. And then you can have a royal flush, which is 10 spades, jack of spades, queen of spades, king of spades, ace of spades. Okay? A royal flush is not a straight flush. A royal flush beats a straight flush.